When Donald Trump and his top allies talk about having a mandate coming out of the 2024 election, this is what they're talking about. Now, you look at the map, you see a lot of squares colored in. Here's what it actually means. Every county that you see red is a county that shifted toward Trump. But if you look at the still being counted popular vote right now, you'll see it's not a massive victory. It is far below what Joe Biden had in 2020. However, when you flip back into the biggest issue for Americans as they voted, the economy, where cost of living was outpacing wages, you know, when it comes to a mandate, the economy is the place where Donald Trump, his tariff proposals, his tax cut proposals, his deregulatory proposals, clearly feels like he has the most ground to work with. When you look at the counties that were most deeply impacted by cost of living, this will show you where you see darker counties, that is where the cost of living simply outpaced the wage growth over the course of the last several years. You look at where the counties are darkest, where they had the most acute issues with this, well, they look familiar because some of them are those blue wall states: Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Now, what's most interesting about this is this wasn't just a battleground phenomenon. In fact, if you come over here into the northeastern area, you see places like New Jersey, New York, Massachusetts, New Hampshire. These are all states, obviously, that Democrats not only won, but have long been Democratic strongholds. Well, here's what's interesting about that. When you actually take a look at what happened in these states compared to Donald Trump's 2020 performance, every county that you see highlighted is a county that Donald Trump outperformed his 2020 results by 3 points or more. Look at New Jersey, look at New York, look up and down the Northeast, and you see just how many counties shifted to Trump significantly. That was a significant story of this entire election. No, he did not win New York or New Jersey or Massachusetts or New Hampshire, but voters moved with him. This wasn't a battleground phenomenon. This wasn't a red state phenomenon. This was an everywhere phenomenon. Now, on tariffs, which will be central not just to the economic policy of the Trump administration, but also how he operates in national security, how he operates in bilateral relationships, it is clear that Trump has major goals that economists say wouldn't actually help on the cost of living basis. How that nets out will be critical in how those voters view Trump's perceived mandate. It is very clear that a traditional Democratic bloc of voters, and while they're not monoliths, certainly election after election after election, large majorities of Hispanic voters have gone towards Democrats, shifting away from that party towards Trump, mostly because of these numbers. Concern about the economy and the belief that, based on Trump's first term, he is the better steward of the nation's economy going forward. That was critical in the election. That is critical to Trump believing that on economic policy, some of which diverges dramatically from what we've seen as the economic consensus, he believes he can do what he wants. Nowhere when you talk to Trump officials is that mandate more clear, at least in their minds, than on the issue of immigration. It's what Trump has campaigned on since he's been in politics, and certainly was the animating feature of his 2024 race. And again, we go back into Texas and you look at what happened in these border counties. The darker the red, the more dramatic the shift towards Donald Trump in these counties, including some of those long-held Democratic counties that Hillary Clinton in 2016 won by 30, 40, 50 points. Well, if you think Trump knows he has a mandate on immigration, knows that even the border counties that long voted Democrat believe in his policies on immigration, well, he's backing that up with who he's appointed. Stephen Miller, Deputy Chief of Staff inside the White House. He's going to be the architect of Trump's immigration policy. Tom Homan will be the immigration czar, former head of ICE. The nominations are tracking with the very clear belief that Trump has policy plans, mass deportation, very strict immigration policy, really reshaping the entire bureaucratic system on that front. And those aren't just plans. He plans to implement immediately after he takes office.